another Tuesday night. The All-Star game's going on. The World Cup's going on. Jordan Walker wins the home run contest. Listen, I can't stand the Cardinals, but I like Jordan Walker. Trade him to the Cubs or the Yankees or something. Save him from St. Louis. Trade him to the Orioles. That would be cool. Get him out of the St. Louis area. Just like that kid. I think he's going to be good. Interesting. The Final Four for FIFA ranked 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's basically the equivalent of 4 number 1 seeds making it to the Final Four. Boring. And today wasn't much better. We'll talk about that. John is starting to love soccer. I don't know about that one, but we'll ask him about it a little bit. But it should be a great show. Denzel's here. John's here. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about soccer. Talk about why JB is the best ever to host a show. Let's bring John in so he can, talk about that some more.
So JB, I don't know how you say that's boring when France clearly was the odds-on favorite above everybody else, and it wasn't even close. And they got shut out. They got beat, and they got shut out.
Sean, are you making a soccer point?
No, I mean, I'm just saying you're wrong because you said it was boring. Point? And when France got beat and shut out today, you can't say it's boring because you didn't expect France to lose. None of us did. We all thought that they were going to the finals and they were going to win this thing, especially after USA choked away their opportunity. There's really nobody else that can beat, that can beat France, and somebody did. Nobody expected that. So,
well, nobody was expecting the U.S. to beat France. But, we do have somebody waiting in the background, John, and I tried to get you guys Jordan Walker. You're welcome. I'm trying to rescue the young man from St. Louis. He should play for a better bird, the Orioles. Cardinals are beautiful to look at, but they're not very good. No.
Can he pitch? Because that's our problem.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. Let's bring in Jay Nelson, the producer.
And hey, you know what? From what I saw, get Jordan Walker out of the National League Central. Get him out of the National League. We don't need a second coming of Albert Pujols in that division to terrorize the Cubs and the Pirates and everybody else. So, John, I would make a pitch to get this dude. I don't know if you saw highlights last night, but homie, the real deal.
Yeah, our offense needs to produce, but we got plenty of weapons in Baltimore. We just don't have any pitching. We don't have any defense. We don't have any pitching.
He'd be a fun kid for you to have in the outfield, John.
And we got 500 outfielders, not only up, but in our prospect, farm system. We just drafted $1 million more in the draft.
I'm giving you a proven winner here. You guys need winners. You're way behind a team like the Yankees who went like 2-8 the last 10 games or something like that. So, I don't know. Anyway, I think we have some quick hits as we do every week because they're just the greatest. Now, if you want to sponsor quick hits, if you're out there watching and you say, that JB, John, maybe Jay, not really Jay, but you got to make them feel good. They're really good at what they do. I want to sponsor quick hits because that's the best segment on the show. Just, go on our YouTube, go on our Insta, go on our X or anywhere and send us a note. We'll take your money and we'll put your logo somewhere. We'll announce you. It could be quick hits presented by, insert your name there. Would be a good move for you.
It'd be a good move because, I'll tell you, that time out in San Francisco, that was rough, you guys. Anything helps. We had to do what we had to do. John had to turn cartwheels for like $10. I think he had to win a freestyle battle. And even then, that barely covered dinner for a night. So if you could sponsor us, that'd be great. We broke. We trying to come up. So please, anything helps. Sponsor Sideline Sports. And you can even hashtag quick hits. And hell, we may even have you come on for a quick.
I don't know. That sounded very perverted and very wild. He has John turning tricks and having to come on for quickies.
These guys,
I am not endorsing anything that Jay said. First of all, he's got the Texans logo behind him, so that's already strike one. So we don't really need to go any further. Just having the Texans logo, is
I
pretty
said
bad.
Cartwheels. I
It's
said
okay.
cartwheels.
Jay, I heard.
Y'all,
I heard what I heard.
Like CJ Stroud would be in like 3 years.
I heard
John,
what I
was
heard.
trying to. Okay, all right. We'll see how the Dolphins do.
All right, let's.
John's gonna say, "I know my team though."
Let's talk some quick hits because these are always so quick. Quick hits sponsored by. Get to us on that. Number one. Knicks guard Jalen Brunson to appear at MSG for WWE Saturday night main event this weekend. Will we one day see Brunson in the ring? All right, I'm gonna start with this. Brunson, because
You're actually
he won
going to start on a wrestling topic? Wow.
Yes, because it's Brunson. So Brunson is like beloved in New York now because he did the impossible. Patrick Ewing, who is way more talented, failed for years to bring this city a title. When Patrick Ewing came out, he was heralded as, one of the top players of the game and just couldn't get it done. They tried a bunch of things.
Are you sure about that?
Then Brunson in their era.
What we saw Brunson do in the finals.
Hang on.
Ewing's never even sniffed that in the playoffs. What are you talking about?
Scoring points is one thing.
It's not Brunson, just scoring points. He's like undersized, like 6 foot, and he's going up against Wemby, who's 7'6", and he's dropping dimes over top of him.
There we go. I muted him because I'm going to finish my point. So Brunson is beloved in New York, and what better way to get the fans on your side than going in the ring? He probably can't do it while he's signed with the Knicks. It'll probably be later on in his career, but fan favorite, very talented, champion New York Knick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw Halliburton. We saw Halliburton in the ring a couple years ago, Jay. Right?
It was against Jalen Brunson. Yeah, they weren't in a ring in a match, but and it was Jalen Brunson he confronted.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen him and Halliburton in the ring before, just not like matches. You're never really going to see guys like that do matches. I mean, they would get squashed against those bigger guys. JB, but Jalen Brunson scored the most points in Knicks history in a playoff game. Most points in Knicks history in a finals game. He won them a championship. He was finals MVP. How many of those does Patrick Ewing have? How many times did Patrick Ewing choke it away? So Brunson's more talented. Brunson already passed Ewing for greatest clutch of all time.
Being clutch and,
in the finals?
Being clutch and talent are two different things.
He is talented. The kid is super talented. I loved him at Nova. I loved him when he went to the Mavs. He was just overshadowed by Luka. That's it. But I loved him when he went there.
Jay?
So, unbelievable stat of the day I'm about to tell you. Jalen Brunson and Derrick Henry, same height, 6'2". With that being said, they actually could afford to capitalize on this one. Now, it's going to take, of course, from the New York Knicks, but they can actually capitalize on this one because, and John, I know you remember, we did this back in 97 and 98. Dennis Rodman wins an NBA Finals. The next month, he's with Hollywood Hogan. 1998. Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman in the NBA Finals. They wrestle each other the next month. So I'm just saying, if you wish to keep this bridge between the rest of the sports and WWE, and you're having these celebrities come outside and come to these events, you already had Jalen Brunson get in the ring and confront Tyrese Halliburton. Yep. You wouldn't even have to have him do much in the match. Just do one move and a pinfall. It's gonna make headlines. It's gonna make headlines.
Those Rodman appearances were just fantastic back in the day. I don't know if those guys, Brunson and Halliburton, can act. I mean, even like watching Halliburton like try and sell stuff or whatever when he briefly appeared, like it was just like not believable. But Rodman, man, like he belonged. Like he looked like he belonged in those storylines. And
Rodman was a personality. He always was. Yeah. These guys, they don't know. I don't think they have that kind of personality.
I agree. I mean, heart. If you put heart in the WWE, that would be believable because that dude's got personality.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, another thing also that helped Dennis Rodman to be more believable in the ring. Well, he was a part of a fighting entity, the Bad Boy Pistons. So that kind of sold. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, we got somebody from it's not like you Brady in the ring or Peyton Manning or anything like that. Like, no one's gonna believe that they're like tough guys, right? You know what I mean? I don't care how many times Peyton's been sacked or Brady's been sacked. They come off as these like, shucks, everyday guys. That's Manning, and then these, you know, Tom Brady. No one's gonna believe that they're badasses. Now you might throw Cam Scatterbull in the ring. Yeah. Now, JB, and I know you don't watch wrestling, but let me ask you something, okay? Because you're a fan. If Cam was in the ring, would he be believable?
Without a doubt. He looks like a junkyard dog type guy. You know, definitely has that type of look. I could see him being in the ring.
Look at you dropping an old school WWF reference. Look at you. See?
See, man, he's been selling out, dude.
Yeah, he's been
I don't watch wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Be good humans.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Mm-hmm. Number 2.
We just talked about it, so.
Well, thanks a lot, JB, for ruining his second quick hit.
So, the Cardinals outfielder, he won the home run derby in dramatic fashion. He won last night.
I'm sorry, Jay, you were cutting out. So, yes, Jordan Walker wins the 2026 MLB Home Run Derby in a dramatic fashion. You know, I basically stole Jay's thunder. And we are going to, have to, just say it is what it is. They need to trade him. He needs to go to a good team, to a better Bird. Or if he doesn't want to go to Bird, go somewhere where a team that can win.
Go to the Dodgers or Yankees or Red Sox. Like, we've seen this story.
You still can't throw the Dodgers and someone else. They're already the team. I mean, at some point, it's like it's going to beat because at some point in time, and I'm pretty sure y'all look at it the same, like right now, right? Like, Ron. These super teams and everything. Hey, the Dodgers doing that right now in baseball, And then you want to throw in Jordan Walker? Like, they're already the team to beat, dude.
Yeah, that's why I said don't do it. Don't give them the Yankees or Dodgers or Red Sox because it's always that.
Yeah, no, it's not good. All right, let's do number 3 quick because I believe our guest is on his way. Okay. So let's get done with number 3.
Right, we'll make it take extra long.
All right. Choose a Sunday dinner, roast or baked chicken. I guess I'm starving because I'm not a huge roast person. What? And baked chicken.
JB's such a picky eater, man.
You all right, really John. Are. For being, I would think you wouldn't be such a picky eater. You know what I'm saying? Like, for being JB Ellis, wouldn't think you'd be that picky of an eater. You would think I would be more picky because based on look at my weight, but like I'm not as picky as you are. Like, I'll eat about anything except vegetables or anything like that, which is disgusting. I'll eat chicken nuggets, pizza, mac and cheese, like any of that stuff that's controversial, like I'll eat that. Love pizza.
What you got, right, Jay? Or the baked chicken?
I love a good Sam's Club rotisserie chicken. $5. Go to Sam's Club, get a whole chicken. That ain't a bad price on a Sunday. Boom, that's like 2 dinners for $5. You can't beat that.
Rotisserie you really different. Rotisserie is different than baked. And if you throw the rotisserie in a salad, now we're talking a good.
Yeah, that's what we do. We'll like slice it up, and then we throw it in by salad. Okay. Throw it in the salad. Good eating. Eat it over like salad, 2 or 3 day span.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Yeah. All right, so we're waiting on our guest. He's trying to get in the studio, I believe.
Okay, he's trying to get in the studio. Okay, so real quick, I love them both, but Which, by the way, JB, the best set I ever ate was in Brooklyn. That place that we went to with the chicken cutlet in there, absolutely amazing.
All right, so that's L&B's. They don't
How do you
sponsor us,
hate
Jay. So
chicken? How?
I don't hate chicken. I hate like boring chicken. You gotta have some flavor. Chicken parmesan. Now we're talking.
Chicken parmesan, chicken parm.
But
oh yeah, you can't go wrong.
Baked chicken. Who wants baked chicken? That's boring. Make it a little flavor. You know.
I love a good roast. I've made it on Christmas. Just simply amazing. I like to so the packaged powder soups from like Lipton. Like I actually use that as a seasoning, and there's a little garlic powder, pepper, salt, sometimes some mushroom gravy, and just throw it in there for 3 hours. It comes out amazing. I actually had a ribeye roast, which for those of y'all who aren't familiar with a ribeye roast, like the bone end is in there. It's basically before they slice in the actual steaks, but it's whole. So no, I'm gonna pick roast in this one, but you can't go wrong with a nice baked chicken.
Baked chicken is not very good. JB is right about baked chicken. It's just
boring.
Bottom of the barrel chicken.
It's boring.
It's bottom of the barrel chicken.
Yeah,
Jay, I don't know what you're.
I mean, a roast is a million times better. I'm not a roast fan.
Yeah, I mean you can put you can put the flavors in. You can put all the good flavors in and kind of let it simmer. You know what I mean? That way it bakes into it. But baked chicken, like, no thanks.
It's boring. It's absolutely boring.
Oh, and Benny's here.
Here's not a boring guy.
Hey guys,
I terrorized my Orioles for years, and now I'm on a show with him. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ben.
Yes, thank you for coming. And sorry for the mix-up.
Yeah,
we had sent you the link yesterday, and then we had to redo it, so that's why I sent out.
Oh, maybe I was on the other link or something.
Yeah, so. I'll send you a text tomorrow though for the other show, for the Cubs show. This way you have it.
Okay.
Okay. It'd be nice and easy. Welcome to Sideline Sports, Ben.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So Ben Zobrist, 2016 World Series MVP, played in a couple other World Series, 2015 with the Royals, 2008 with the Rays. Wrote a book, great book, Prepare for the Pressure. Had the opportunity to look through it, read most of it. I'm impressed. I mean, a lot of good stories. I'm going to start with the tough question because I want to get it out of the way. And don't take any disrespect by this because I have tremendous respect for people that have faith. So
yeah, sure.
And I believe everybody has their own faith. So, but you wrote in the book a lot of different things about faith and relying in God. So my question, and I feel weird asking it, but do you feel like putting your faith in God when you're playing a sport is asking to win, or how do you relate to that? Because I know you can't ask, okay, I want to win, because that's not really fair. Because that would be God makes a loser, right? Exactly, right.
Yeah. No, I really never approached it like it's God's will for me to win. My faith was about how do I find a way to do this in a way that honors you at the same time as honors the people around me, at the same time as just represents my family and my organization really well. And I think my faith just helps me on a deeper level stay grounded in my values and what means more to me than winning, right? Or playing great at any sport for that matter. So it's just the type of thing that you want to kind of shine beyond the field.
And I mean, looking through the book, I like how you broke down each chapter with, some ideas of how to relate, what you need to do to connect with people and to connect your faith. I thought that was well put together, and, it made you think how could you be a better person? Because first of all, it's not easy, to become successful in any career. And I mean, you were a professional athlete, one of the best in the world, World Series MVP. To get there, you have to do a lot of things well, and you have to fail a lot too.
Yeah.
And it says a lot that you're able to break it down. What are some lessons that you would, share with someone coming up in the game?
Yeah. First off, nothing nothing that's really worth your while is going to come easy in this life. I don't believe it's not just going to be as simple. Um, well, I take that back. It might be simple, but it's not going to be easy, right? There are certain things that just work and certain things that don't, right? And so one of the things for me that I really want the book to come out in the book for a young player is, um, the principles that work, they work in anything. It doesn't just work in sports, right? So if you're working on some of these things, whether it's focus, presence, versatility, perspective, any of the chapters that I really dig into these particular words, um, I believe that you can use the game of sports as a crucible. It's a filter. It's something that you can learn these things through if you apply yourself in the right way. And then, regardless of how long you get to play a sport you love, or your kid or your team gets to play the sport they love, you can, at the end of a season or the end of a career, find out that, wow, this benefited me far beyond the ball field, right? If I apply myself. So I really want not just the athlete, but I want the parents, I want the coaches, I want the people that might read this book to realize that we all have work to do. We all need to spend time working on that internal state just as much as the things that are external, and that the things that help us win. We gotta work on the internal side of things, right? And so, as a parent and as a coach myself, now it's almost more difficult sometimes when you're emotionally tied to what your kids are doing or what the team is doing that you're trying to coach, right? And so you really have to make sure that you're checking yourself and modeling this behavior for this younger generation, because they've got it harder than we do. That's what I believe. It's a tougher thing for them to have to overcome now, because they don't just have the game and the challenges of failing at the game. They have social media, they have pressure on the outside, they have all these expectations and highlights. They've lived a highlight life looking at social media, and so the expectations are so high, and when they fall short, it's hard for them to grind through that. Harder than it was for us. And so we've got to, with new challenges, I think we have to give them new tools. And so that's part of what I hope this book is for them.
Yeah, one of the things I liked, I mean, one of my favorite sports books that is kind of in the genre your book's in, uh, Pat Riley's book, The Winner Within. I love that. And I see a lot of similarities to what you did in your book. I mean, it's written differently, but the message, very similar. What to identify, how to work on different things to make yourself a success, how to build a team camaraderie. All that's in your book. And
Yeah.
I noticed that when I read Pat's book years ago. And I think those are great lessons that, like you said, apply to more than just sports.
Absolutely. I mean, healthy connection is just a part of what helps you win in life. And the culmination of my book is chapter 9, which is talking about connection and the importance of not just being connected to your team or the goals that you have, but connection to yourself when you look in the mirror, a healthy way to look at yourself and talk to yourself. And then ultimately, if you can have a connection to faith, a connection to God that makes you feel grounded beyond whatever the ups and the downs that you're going to face, that's really the silver bullet to a lot of the mental and emotional challenges that we're going to face in a lot of ways. I mean, there are extenuating circumstances where people need medication and things like that. I've been involved in the mental health world quite a bit, but by and large, a lot of us, the stresses that come to us from a sport are just something that we really can manage if we are healthily connected to the people around us. If we know how to manage emotion, if we know how to process emotion and share emotion with each other, and then it just takes the edge off, right? Like, you can win, you can lose, you can be the goat, you can be the person that blows it, but at the end of the day, like, you have a connection that keeps you grounded and that keeps you moving forward, regardless of whether you're getting success or failure in the role that you're carrying.
JB,
Yeah.
I think so. So you asked about faith in his book earlier, and somebody as myself that's a man of faith as well. Um, something that something I would say that really I think I take away from what Ben is saying is the material things that you gain from whatever job you have, the success you have, the money, whatever. Like, none of that stuff is really something, as at least as a man of faith, me, it's not really something that drives you or is like your calling in life or something that you're going to hold on to, because when you die, like, you're not taking it with you. So, like, it's people that follow God, we understand that you're not taking that with you. So like that's not our focus. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at like trying to better the world, trying to help other people out, trying to humble ourselves, trying to look out for people other than ourselves. And Ben, you and I are both parents, so we understand that on that level. But then also like, you know, like at my job, I always try and go out of my way to help people, like just for the sake of it, because like it's a right thing to do. Go look out for other people as opposed to just yourself. So that's just kind of what like my answer to JB's question, because I relate to you in a lot of ways and a lot of things you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, let's not, you know, we realize that for a lot of kids or for a lot of people, and it's just normal that rewards are part of what
Yeah,
motivates, what
of
drives,
course.
and that's okay. It's not saying that's a bad thing, but it can't be the ultimate thing. It can't be the
Yep.
ultimate driver. And I've had the experiences of getting the success that I was going for and then going, what now? Right? Like a lot of athletes have done. Like what there's just it's a temporary pursuit. It's a temporary purpose. It really can give you purpose for a lot of your life, but then all of a sudden when it's gone, you got to realize like there's greater purposes in life. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people of faith have connected to the fact that if I connect myself to something that is transcendent beyond this life, something that's going to benefit, you know, a lot more people than just me or my family, then that's something can really make fuel my purpose for my entire life, and it won't ebb and flow too much with the roles that I carry, because our roles are going to change. They're going to ebb and flow. They're going to be good sometimes, bad other times, and ultimately we want to feel at the end of the day that we were valuable to the people that we loved, and that we brought a sense of value, but we also brought a sense of hope and peace in the midst of some of the chaos that everybody experiences. I think that's what sports are really here for, aren't they? I mean, they're supposed to be something that was something that we recreated and taught us things, and it was like a little mini microcosm of life that you could kind of live in a 9 inning game, or live in two halves. But at the end of the day, it is an escape from the reality of some of the hard things that are going on in life, right? And so if we can use that escape as a way that just gives more purpose to helping each other live a tough life, you know, at times, then I think that's what all of us would really love to do, is just kind of make life a little bit better for everybody else around us.
Yep.
So, what was your reason behind writing the book? I mean, honestly, I haven't had a chance to finish it, but I've kind
Yeah.
of read a few chapters in full and skimmed through the rest because I knew you were going to be on. I wanted to make sure I had enough to go on. But great book. What was your purpose behind writing it? What was your motivation?
Well, right when I retired from baseball, I kind of just avoided sports. To be honest, I wasn't even watching it on TV. I was trying to decompress, just get away from the game, right? And after a couple years, and I spent time with myself, spent time with God. I was in major life transitions, and I really just felt this call of like, you know what? After you've learned and been benefited from so much support from other people, kind of, you get to the top of a craft that your culture really cares about. You can't really just keep that to yourself, right? Like at some level, I've got to find a way to give that back. I do enjoy speaking. I enjoy the process of creating a message to give. And I never saw myself as an author trying to write that in a book. I always enjoyed doing that on stage or doing that to groups of young men here and there, or at churches. But I think when the publisher Thomas Nelson came to me and said, "Hey, you know, it's going to be the Cubs' 10-year anniversary. How about you take some of your speaking stuff that you're speaking about and put it in a book, and combine it with some of the nonprofit work that I've been doing in the mental and emotional skill realm with Champion Forward?" And I thought about it and I was like, well, you know, I only have 6 or 7 other things going on, so why don't I add to it? You know, so I wrote the book last summer, and we went through about 6 or 7 different iterations of editing, and ultimately landed on what we have here today. And I it's fun for me to talk about these things, so that's another reason to do it. But it's also something that I'm coaching young guys right now. I do some one-on-one coaching with some elite athletes, a guy that just signed with a pro team, and I I like to use this type of stuff for some of the curriculum that I'm using with those young athletes as well, because we can dig, as you've seen in any of the chapters. I can dig deep in any one of these topics, and I really enjoy doing that.
That's awesome. So, I mean, obviously, you talk about the Cubs 10-year anniversary coming up. Um, Obviously, the Cubs hadn't won in forever. What was that experience like being in Chicago, being the World Series MVP? I know my wife and father-in-law are thrilled. I know they're watching right now. They're huge fans. I'm a Yankee fan, so we got Rizzo from you guys, and he came close to winning with us, but we've had a lot of success. But what was it like for you guys when you won in 2016?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you go into a season like that, you know that this championship is the coveted championship to win right now in any sport, because it's been 108 years and there's such a great fan base in Chicago, right? That have been waiting forever. So I kind of knew the mix was right when I was in free agency, that having Joe Madden there, my former manager, but also having a great young talent like Rizzo and Chris Bryant, and Javi Baez and Schwarber, and then we had John Lester to anchor the staff, and Lackey and Arrieta, and just Hamill, a number of guys that were just already established players. So I knew that we were going to be good, but you never can tell. You never know, like, okay, does that mean we're going to make the playoffs? Does that mean we're going to win in the playoffs? All that is just, I've played enough at that point that I know you've got to be playing well at the right time, and everybody's got to execute, right? So it was, to be honest, going through that whole process with the guys, it was surreal. It was seeing how Chicago responded to that championship was like nothing I've ever been a part of. And it was a shock to the system, to say the least, because within 2 days of the World Series win, after the parade, my agent got 5,000 requests for me to do things all over the place. And
Wow.
like, I went to Jimmy Fallon on a private jet. I went to Conan O'Brien. I could have done the Saturday Night Live stuff, decided not to, and I'm glad I did. If you ever saw that, those guys that did that. But I got flown to Disney World on a private jet with my family, and I mean, just things that you just don't normally do, right? And to be honest, it was overwhelming. It was like, climbing Everest, but nobody teaches you that it's difficult to go down, and that you also can't breathe up there, right? So I didn't understand that this was an athletic Everest that I was gonna kind of be depleted of my oxygen at. So that's where I think it was the most amazing accomplishment that I've probably ever been a part of, and it was the most, what's the word for it, just discombobulating, right? I was like, wait, what do I do with myself now? Because it was kind of the end of
Yeah.
all the carrots that I had pursued in baseball at the same time, right? But I have 3 more years of my contract to play out. So what else do you do to kind of top that? So it was like trying to find the new motivation after that was difficult.
And last question about the book and for you. It was great having you on. So, in the book, you talk about your relationship with Joe Madden. And early in your career, you were a shortstop. And Joe had said that he sees you as a utility guy, that you should stick around for 10 years. But then he took you, out of the regular lineup as a shortstop. And yet, you did everything you could to make sure you picked up your part of the team and to put yourself in a good position. Tell me what that was like for you and what motivated you to be that person.
I think, to be honest, those things that carried me were probably in me prior to making it to the major leagues. They were things that were built into me as a young man. I really was never playing for anybody else's approval. I really loved the passion of playing, and getting better when nobody was watching. And I really did feel a sense that, like, okay, this is my gift. This is something that God gave me, and I want to try to make the most of it. So I had a passion for the game and a passion to practice that went beyond whatever Joe told me or anybody told me in professional baseball. But I think having Joe's belief in me as a player, and then kind of proving that by giving me some opportunities, and just rolling with the punches. I think when you're not the best prospect, and if you can have uh, the right mindset to say, you know what, there's going to be some bumps in this road. There's going to be times where they're going to send me down and I'm playing well. There's going to be times they're going to pull me up and I'm not playing well. And you kind of recognize you're going to be the designated yo-yo for a couple years there. You settle into, this isn't about where I'm playing. This is about how I'm going about my business. And if I go about my business the right way, and I have a perspective that says, you know what, it's not about where I'm at right now, then you don't get bitter at the organization and you just roll with the punches. And eventually it gets easier because they're like, hey, he's playing well, keep him here. Right? He's playing well, give him another start. He's playing, if you want to complain, you got nowhere to look at except for yourself, right? If you're like not doing all the things that are giving yourself the best opportunity, right? So those are things when I was a young person, my parents were like, you don't complain about your coach. Your coach is the one that makes decisions, you don't. So just get out on the field, get out there and practice in the way that they want you to practice, and maybe you'll get another opportunity. You got to make the best of it when you get it.
That's awesome. Great lesson in that too with the coaching. To listen to your coach. You look on social media right now. That's not what's done in a lot of places. What nonprofits are you involved in before we let you go?
Yeah, so championforward.org is the nonprofit I'm involved with. We focus on mental and emotional skills, not just for young athletes, which is needed right now with all the travel sports and the craziness, but also the parents and the coaches, because we realize that we can't teach it to the athletes, but not have a parent or a coach around them modeling it. So we have a training system that we try to put in school systems. They're in several school systems, some colleges now, high schools, travel systems. And we give simple tools. We have 5 tools in our organization we use. And one of them is a check-in where you check in emotionally, but we teach people how to do just basic emotional intelligence stuff that we really all should have been taught in school. Would have really helped us out probably, but we train people how to do this in the sports experience so that it can be a better world out there, not just for your team, but for your family and for your kid that's trying to rise up the ranks.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. Here's Ben's book. Jay, if you want to put me full screen for one quick second so everyone can see it.
One more thing I got to say too.
Yeah.
My World Series Camaro that I won on the field in Cleveland for being the MVP, we're giving that away this year for people. Just a small donation to the organization. You can be entered to win. The cfsweepstakes.com is where you can find it, or cfsweepstakes.org. I think it doesn't matter. Either one will go to us.
Yeah.
And that website, I'm excited about this. I've had this car. There's only 8,000 miles on it. I barely ever drive it. It looks brand stinking new. And so we really want to bring some attention to the organization and what we're doing to benefit mental and emotional skills for athletes. So let's get that out there too.
We need more people like you in the world, Ben. We need more people like you.
Yeah, it's important to give back. That's great. But definitely also, if you're watching, here's the book, Prepare for the Pressure, by Ben Zobrist. Make sure you go out and get it. Where can people buy the book, Ben?
Well, it's on just about every website or store that sells books right now. Amazon's where I get a lot of my books from, so it's there. But you can also find it if you go to prepareforthepressure.com. Links to all that for the book and more information about what we're doing with Champion Forward too.
Well, I appreciate the time. Thank you for being on Sideline Sports. We'll see you tomorrow night at Confidential.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you, Ben.
Have a great night, Ben. Thank you. Ben Zobrist, 2016 World Series MVP.
I mean, despite him killing my Orioles for years, I can't forget that. Killing me in MLB The Show whenever I would have to play against him and I'd be a pitcher or something. He's an amazing guy. He really is. He is an amazing dude. I was going to tell him he is the baseball Tim Tebow. That's what he is.
Interesting.
He's the MLB Tim Tebow.
The base. It's crazy because
Tebow's college career or Tebow's pro career?
I mean, as a person.
As a person.
Not as a player, but as a person.
No.
What Tebow represents, what Tebow is as a human being.
Okay.
What he tried to instill in his teammates and everybody around him. That seems to be Ben, because remember, all the places he mentioned that he played for, culture. Rays, Royals, and of course the Cubs all had that culture. And that's why they were all able to win.
And he played for Madden almost every year except for, I think, 1 or 2.
Except for he didn't play at the Royals.
Madden was the manager of the 08 Rays.
Yes,
right?
Yes, that's where Ben got his start. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the culture, like you said, it comes from leadership and people buying in for all the way down the line. But
And
great
just being
book.
a good person and trying to
Yeah,
like look out for your teammates, look out for other people. That stuff kind of like permeates.
without a
Yes.
doubt.
Ben
All
Zobrist
right.
is the prime example of, and I'm not going to get too dark or political or anything like that. That ain't what we do. But he's living proof that the good guy wins sometimes, y'all. You hear that? Be a genuinely good person. It costs you nothing to be a decent human being. $0, okay?
Yep.
So in the end, the and Ramon.
What happened?
I said, unless you're Razor Ramon.
That's funny. All right. So if you guys are watching right now, Ben will be on Confidential tomorrow. We'll ask him about the book some more, and we'll talk more about his time with the Cubs, obviously. I didn't want to touch too much on that. I had to ask about winning the World Series as a Cub because, that's obvious. But we'll touch more about his relationship with the guys and more with Madden tomorrow. And I'm sure Brian will have some great questions for him, both of them being former Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited
Absolutely.
for that. But speaking of former, and then this was present, let's talk about Conor McGregor.
Ooh, boy.
So is McGregor injury at UFC 329 the end of the line for the notorious one? So first of all, I mean, I didn't watch the fight. I was watching the World Cup. World Cup over UFC. Real sport versus combat sport.
Combat sport is a real sport. If you're getting your face punched in, it's a real sport.
real sport versus combat sport.
I mean, JB, watch that fight. Jay, what fight was that a couple before Conor McGregor, where the guy was like sitting on the guy's leg, basically breaking the guy's leg, and he would have broke the leg if the time did not run out in the round. Remember that?
Yeah, because that dude was not budging. He was not budging. He would snap his leg in two.
He was about to snap his leg in half because he put all of his weight. Somehow they rolled around JB, and he got on top of the guy's leg, and the guy's leg was like stuck out, and the guy just like sat on top of his leg with all his weight and was pulling up. But then the time ran out in the round. If the time didn't run out, there's 20 more seconds, that leg would have been gone or he would have tapped.
Wow.
Because that's how
and it was in like the outward position, kind of like John. You remember when Dak Prescott had that nasty ankle injury back? It was almost ended up like that. But go ahead, JB.
No, I mean, listen, UFC is interesting. I prefer boxing, but we don't have boxers like we used to. Back in the day, boxers were warriors. They're not the same anymore. No. It's unfortunate. UFC is now the combat sport, unless you want to count wrestling, which is entertainment. But
it's not. Yeah, it's not really a combat sport. It's like
it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
But I would say UFC is the combat sport right now. I don't hate UFC, but if I could watch a world-class sporting event, I'm going to watch that first, and then UFC. After, but I'll turn on a UFC match.
I mean, the card was really good up until the last two fights. The Patty fight sucked, and then of course McGregor fight sucked because the Patty fight could have been a classic fight. Like those two could have duked it out for a while, and it ended as soon as I sat down, it was like, oh, it's over. He ran right into the guy's arms into a headlock, and dude put him to sleep, and it was done. Which was disappointing because I wanted to see both the last two fights. I wanted to see, you know what I mean? I wanted to see who would actually win, not boom, it's over in 2 seconds. I wanted to see real fights, But the fight before that, Patty won, Jay. Woo, man, I was texting. That one was a hell of a fight.
That one and Gabe Stevenson made his debut. You saw that one, right? Mm-hmm. And Gabe was landing bombs on the old boy. Yep. I was like, oh yeah, because I'd already known because Gabe Stevenson, amateur, he spent some time in WWE. Oh shoot, well, I mean, a guy that size, in the octagon, when he made his debut, he won his debut match, and this guy's got boulder to be a force for years to come. As far as now, JB, I'm surprised You as a Brooklynite, they're called Brooklynites, right?
You could use that term. I wouldn't go around saying I'm a Brooklynite, but you could use that term. I'm from Brooklyn, yes.
Okay, so I actually was shocked that you didn't take offense because his name is the notorious Conor McGregor, and to y'all, the only notorious one is Big.
Listen, we all know Biggie's Biggie, and he can call him whatever he wants, but he's right now on disability, unfortunately. And my personal opinion is when he got into the ring, he wasn't fit to fight. There was something wrong. From what I saw in the replays and the watch for it's kind of sad that that's the case, and I don't know if
he was on the same kick in the locker room right before the fight, same exact kick they tore his ACL on, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And here's the thing, okay, because what they like to do is play a nice of damage control or PR, okay? Yeah. All right, we're all old enough to have seen this coming, okay? Let me talk to the fans for just 1 minute here, okay? They're gonna tell you he wasn't injured before the fight. I want you to go look at that footage, and I want you to believe what your eyes tell you, okay? Because John, if you never were,
what Dana White tells you,
yeah, if you never sports.
And Jay is frozen. That's not exactly
he's serious about this, but he's right. Like, if you watch in the locker room that kick, and if you watch him walk out, he just never looked comfortable. Like the whole time he did not look comfortable. Like he didn't look healthy.
John, here's my question. We just saw Serena go to Wimbledon. Same type of thing. She thought she was just going to come back and whoosh, be the top of her game. McGregor comes back after all that time and that injury. He's obviously got to think he's going to win.
It's easier for Serena to do it because she didn't have a broken leg. Dude was coming back. You know what I mean? Not that tennis is easy. I'm not saying that. But you're in a combat sport where somebody's trying to kill you and you're coming back from a broken leg. Again, you know what I mean? You fought this guy before. So, like, you have history with him. And you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't going to work. I mean, I didn't think it would work, but I at least thought that the fight would, like, happen. You know what I mean? Like, I was hoping the fight would happen and we'd see, even if he lost, like, a good fight between the two. Because that's all I wanted. That's all we all wanted.
John, you watch Friends?
Yeah.
Remember way back, I think it was season 2. What's the dude's name? The guy who played not Iron Man, the other one. He was in Swingers.
The guy that played Iron Man?
John Favreau.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on the show. He was the rich guy, and he was going into MMA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And remember how quick his fight ended? They were out barbecuing on the patio, and all of a sudden fight ended. That was kind of the experience for the McGregor fight. It was so bad,
Well, that was also like I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, to have a name, we're not talking about random undercard fights that, okay, if it ends in 3 seconds, that sucked, but you didn't turn it on for that. You turned it on to see McGregor.
It's the biggest name in the history of UFC.
Exactly.
He put UFC on the map. If it wasn't for him, UFC would not be as big as it is right now.
Yeah. I mean, had the soccer game ended in regulation, I intended on putting on Netflix and watching the fight. It just didn't happen. So, but that's the reason why. It was because it was McGregor, not because of any other reason. UFC has fights like every other week or every week. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I don't turn it on. I'm not a huge UFC guy.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah. The name McGregor means something. It was like when Tyson used to fight. Yep. You watched the Tyson fight because it was Tyson.
And when he fought Paul on Netflix or whatever, we were all like, yeah, well, we're going to tune in because, like, not because we want to watch, like, the fight per se, but we want to see what Tyson looks like. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one last hurrah for Tyson, and that was one last hurrah for McGregor. I mean, he's, 37, coming off a broken leg. like out of the sport for 5 years. No, even if he didn't get injured, it was probably his last fight anyway. Like at that age, you don't come back, you don't sit out that long and then just start getting back into fights and being your old. It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. And also, and I think this is kind of we figure, right? Like he doesn't, have anything left to prove in the UFC. Now he could afford to go over to Netflix and make some money fighting. He's even entertained a rematch with Floyd Mayweather, so we'll see. And he really didn't look that bad in the ring when he fought him. He isn't a boxer.
That fight was so disappointing too. It's been a while since we've had a good McGregor fight. It's been about 10 years, right? 8 or 10 years.
The last time he faced Holloway, yeah.
It's been 8 years since he won, right? I think it's been 8 years.
It's been a long time, John.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
So he hasn't been himself in almost a decade, JB.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Conor McGregor, do you want to be yourself? Maybe he wants to run from himself.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna come back and fight and you want us to watch, then like we want to see McGregor, the vintage McGregor. I don't want to see this version.
We're gonna watch no matter what because of the name, though, John. I mean,
we watch. I'm pretty. We
annoyed. Watched Tyson get beat up by Buster Douglas, John.
But that was Mike Tyson, man. Like, you know what I mean.
And this is Conor McGregor. McGregor's a similar trajectory. That's the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's talk a little FIFA World Cup. We're down to 3 teams. Spain wins 2-0 on a horrible penalty. Listen, I love soccer. I love soccer. But how do you get called for a penalty kick? A penalty if a guy runs in front of you. You lift your leg up to kick the ball. The guy runs in front of you. You happen to kick him. He basically ran into him. Spain got a penalty kick, went up 1-0. They ended up winning 2-0. Yes, Spain's defense has been lights out during this whole tournament. France, they were favorites. I had figured they were going to win. A lot of people did.
We all did.
But defense wins championships. I believe that they say that in some sports.
So
I didn't know that was the case in soccer, but it appears to be so. Spain is getting to the World Cup finals. France will play in the 3-versus-4 game, which they actually do run on Saturday, the day before the final. But tomorrow we have England against Argentina.
Wait, Messi, they have a 3-versus-4 game?
Yep.
Yeah, it's third place game.
Why?
Because it's an exhibition, John. Make the fans excited. I don't know why anybody would want to play in that game.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't
Here's your participation trophy? Like, why?
You gotta get a bronze, John. You get the bronze.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
So we got Harry Kane versus Messi, Jude Bellingham for England. Can they beat Argentina, Jay?
If the referees there, yes, of course. Don't act like nobody's seen the Kansas City Chiefs referees out there doing these last couple of matches for Argentina. Come on now.
Talking about.
John's like, huh?
I literally haven't because I haven't watched any of it.
No. I hear what you're saying. It's just like, but JB, we talked about it. James is talking about it. Especially what happened versus Egypt. That enough said, right? I'm going to pause it right there. Especially what happened versus Egypt. You know what I mean? I'm not taking anything away from the talent of Argentina, but they've been controversial during this latter stage tournament. And England's been playing some pretty solid ball. Just when you think that they're out of it, here comes Bellingham or here comes Harry Kane. Kane's legitimately, getting knocked to the ground. I mean, at first I kind of thought he was like, England's SGA, but I was like, nah, hold on. He's kind of getting busted up a little bit, unless you saw something different, JB. But
I don't know. England is they've won a couple of tough games, the last few, but their offense just doesn't look right. It's not like, and I was speaking with a couple of people about it. They were saying they didn't put the right guys on the squad to the right mix. and that's a shame because you have Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, which are two phenomenal players
Yeah,
up
you're one
front.
two punch.
To not have the rest of the guys to open up the offense for them, it's a tragedy. It's horrible, And Argentina, on the other hand, Cape Verde, they barely won. And it's been the same the whole knockout round. They've survived impossible games that they shouldn't have won, and the referees have been very helpful. So, do they have what it takes? So the referee's going to get involved and cost England the game. I don't know. I can't foresee that happening. I want England to win here. I mean, I'm rooting for England. I just don't know if they have the offensive power to get it done. It'll be interesting to see. What do you think,
I
Jay?
mean, if it, yeah, I got England, but man, I'm looking at this like an ironic a Kansas City Chiefs game. If it's close late, you're going to invite the Zebras.
Yep.
So England needs to come out there and run it up like 4-0. England, like you said, has had some pretty solid defense. But I'm gonna take, I'll take England in this one. Messi's last World Cup, sayonara. I think we see Spain and England in the finals.
Let's hope.
I was really hoping for France against England, a little old school 1700 war mentality, like the Revolutionary War or something like that, a little, France versus England matchup. I thought that would have been great, but unfortunately, uh, France just didn't have enough of the tank. Mbappe was not bopping around today. It was just not the way it was going to be. Um, Spain's a great team. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 right now in the world
Mm-hmm.
rankings that are playing. Well, France is gone, but so they got 3 out of the top
And,
4 in the world that are still involved.
and
That's the
JB,
odds of that are just unbelievable. Go ahead.
and you watch more soccer than me, man. But I'm reading on ESPN, and the headline was Spain upsets France, and it's okay. Listen, I get it. You know what I mean? France was the overarching favorite this whole tournament, right? If Spain is a top 5 team, is it exactly an if Cape
No,
Verde beats
that's
France?
different.
Oh yeah, monumental
So
upset. Or like
so
Egypt or somebody like that. But bro, they're a top 5 team. We do
so
this in college football.
so
If
I
number
look
3
at it
beats
this
number
way.
1 in college football,
Yeah.
is that an upset?
Not at all.
If
There
one
we
beats
go.
if one beats 3, if one beats 4, no, it's not an upset. It's two top teams playing, and it was their day to win.
It's two
Because
heavyweights.
I guarantee you, if they played 100 times, it'd probably be about 51-49, and who knows which way it would split. There's no way to know unless they did that, because both the teams are top of the world, great guys. I don't know. I don't see that as an upset. To me, an upset would be if the U.S. went out there and beat Spain or France. Wasn't going to happen. Wasn't our year, but um, definitely not an upset. John, we're coming to the end of the show. We're almost out of time,
Yeah.
and all I can think about is you haven't figured out how to get Jordan Walker to the right birds right now. We started the show on
Well, we
Jordan
don't want
Walker.
him.
Hmm.
We
You
need
you
pitching. I keep telling you that. We don't need more
uh,
offense. We need pitching. We've got a
John,
million outfielders.
John, win games 12-10. That's all you got to do is keep scoring more.
And look, we have Pete Alonso, we have Tyler Ward, we have all these guys, and people are not hitting. So we have the offense, they're just not hitting. But the talent is there. They just haven't put it together as an offense. So we have
Mhm.
talent along the offense. We just have no pitching whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it's wild to see. All right, guys. So we are out of time. Jay has been in and out, out and in and out, in and out. If you're looking to sponsor, reach out. You can
We
get quick
we
hits if you want.
we met Puka Nakua in and out, and
EA, if you're looking to
met a
sponsor, I'm
world
getting ready to
peace.
go play EAFC 26. So,
There you
Absolutely.
go.
yeah. And I'm not
All
even
right.
a soccer fan. Soccer sucks.
Yeah. Wow. On that note, this has been another episode of Sideline Sports. Tune in tomorrow for Confidential to see part 2 of Ben Zobrist's interview.
Yeah, thank
Don't
you,
forget, Prepare for the Pressure. You could go get that anywhere books are sold. Just released by Ben on July 9th, I believe it came out. It should be a bestseller after reading it. It was a
Yeah.
great book.
Thanks for torturing my Orioles for years. I really appreciate all the trauma you caused us.
But everybody else, we will see you next time. Next week, I mean, I don't know. We're going to talk about World Cup finals because John's getting into this. John's getting his face painted. Whoever wins the game tomorrow for the championship game.
I don't
Sunday.
have the face to paint a face. Like, my face is not paint face worthy. I'm too skinny and short for that to. I just look doofy. But if you did a JB, it would make sense because you got like. You could go to a Bears game in the cold, shirtless, with your face painted, and it would work.
No
it would work.
Games.
You're a bigger guy, stupid. Husky. Stupid. It works. Skinny guy like me, I look stupid if I paint my face and take my shirt off.
We're not gonna talk about dumb people taking their shirts off at games.
I'm just saying, like, you could pull it off. I can.
On that note, we will see you next week. We're out of here, guys. Have a great night.